Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us back here in the live studio. I'm Romaine Buck. You just saw an awesome shot from our drones here in the studio, just people milling around, taking care of things. I'm so excited for our next session that we have here. Joining me live in studio is Tim Sackett for our Rock Your Profile session. I've been looking forward to this all day, Tim. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Before we kick off, a little bit about Tim. Tim is president of HRU Technical Resources, which is a leading engineering and IT staffing firm in Michigan, my former home state.
Yeah.
So super excited that we're getting some Michigan love today. He's also the author of a best-selling talent acquisition book called The Talent Fix. And I love that you're wearing your brand.
I'm trying to stay on brand.
I dig it. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And also, just in case you're still questioning Tim's street cred, he's also a top 10 HR influencer by Workforce Magazine and writes every day on your blog as well.
I know. I think that's what it comes down to. If you can be a top influencer if you just write every single day. That's what, and do it like start 10 years ago and come forward.
I love it. I love it. Top influencer, and you're here in studio with us because we've got some profiles that we're going to take a look at because people are always asking, how can I make my profile look amazing to a recruiter? And so why not have the king recruiter himself here to give us some tips. So what have we got first?
Well, we're going to start with Ellen. She's out of San Diego. And, right away, the thing that you're drawn to is the picture. In fact, there's really three things that are above the fold. And so if you think of a newspaper and how you used to fold, and they would always put those headlines right on that first page, and your profile is very similar. And so there's three things. You have your picture, you have your headline, and then you have your summary. And so right away, you see the picture. Ellen's pretty girl, right?
Sure.
But what do you think about that picture?
It kind of looks like there's some people in the background.
Little pixelated, not super clear.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing, and we'll see this consistently with almost every profile, is people just love to crop a picture and throw it in. They're like, oh, I look good in that one, bam. And you're like, spend some time and some money to do a professional shoot, right? And I guess it have to be a lot of, I do family photos with my three boys and my wife every single year. And when they're doing the family photo, I'll just grab the photographer and go, hey, can we do a quick headshot, right? Just real quick. And she'll click off a couple and then bam, I have them. And if you're a normal family, maybe it's every 3 years, whatever that might be. But and maybe you have a friend that has a new iPhone X, anything, right? Portrait mode. Have somebody take a really good photo of just you because your eye is completely drawn. And so then we go into the headline, and financial services recruiter. She's a West Virginia enthusiast, which gives us a little bit of insight to her personality, which is fun. Love that. And then you go down into the summary, and it's senior staffing professional with an everything now, nothing later attitude. I don't know for sure what that means. Kind of like it, kind of interested. What about you?
I really like that part. What about making that her headline? I like that better.
That's an awesome idea. That, to me, so Ellen, right now, go out and say everything now, nothing later as your headline would be a perfect headline.
Nailing it.
And so it's one of those really quick things from that standpoint. So again, three things to focus on: picture, headline, summary, just at the top. Everyone's going to go and look at that. And here's what I find from recruiters is that we spend less time focusing on our own profiles because we're looking at everybody else's. And so and when that happens constantly, I run into marketers and PR people that do the same thing. Like you'll go to their site and you're like, oh, your site's not that great. And then they'll go, oh, well, I'm doing all my client work. And like, no, focus on yourself. So let's jump to another one.
Yeah.
So David Hoyle, he's an attorney out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Same thing. So one thing I noticed right away is a little better photo for David. Still probably a crop shot. So it's a little fuzzy. But the secondary photo is completely gone. It kind of has the back like LinkedIn. We're going to throw up some graphic there. So again, you can build that out. Now, as an attorney, I don't know how much of that's on brand because when we talk about headlines, how could he get out of that? Maybe talk about what his practice really is, maybe his passion around the law, something like that. It's a little harder to build that out. But again, and then he has his specialties in his summary. For me, I want the summary to be about who are you and what do you want? And to me, this is like a classic LinkedIn profile of I was trying to make this my online resume versus how do I make this a profile where people want to come and network with me and have a professional network.
So what's wrong with that? I hear that a lot because people will you have the ability to upload your resume to your LinkedIn profile. So what's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, because you can do that, that should be your resume. The profile for me is more about who you are and what you stand for and what you're trying to be. It's your brand.
Yeah.
It's a way to personally brand yourself, where in a resume, you can't really do that. And again, why we get confused is if we scroll down, we have the experiences and the education, so it feels to us like it's a resume, but the reality is it's not. It shouldn't be. And it shouldn't be used that way, but so often we get stuck on that.
Yeah. Do we have an example of this done really well?
Yeah, and so one of the people that, and I sent her a message and told her, like, this is my best one I think you'd ever find. So Crystal Moore, she's out of Greater Atlanta. She's a recruiter. Her like headline is, I recruit people, I shoot sports, I am Groot. And so if you don't know I am Groot, it's Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. It's a sci-fi movie. It's fun. She's obviously a fan. Her secondary picture has the Groot photo there. But in 9 words, I can't imagine a better headline to tell me her personality, what her passions are, what she does. It's 9 words.
Yeah.
And it's so great. And like, I shoot sports, she's a photographer, and she shoots all these like different athletic sports. And then you go in, and one of the things I like about Crystal too is in her summary, she really puts in some examples of some of the things that she has. So there's some video in there, there's some links in there. And so you can really dig in before you go underneath and start looking at some of the traditional kind of experiences from stuff like that. Now, another one that we're rocking the profile for is Gloria. And so when I got Gloria's, I was like, I don't even know what I can tell her. It's so good. One is professional photo. I mean, just with the lighting and everything is so great on her face. The eyes pop because you have that great light coming at you. So again, even if you have your friends do it in front of a big picture mirror where the light's coming at you, have them stand in front of you and do that photo that way, where then the background's kind of blurred out. Again, I'm not a professional photographer, but I like to take selfies.
Those are great tips though, for anyone, whether you're on Instagram or LinkedIn.
Yeah. And then again, like, it seems like her secondary photo matches brand and color and everything, so it works really well. And then you get into this computer engineer, speaker, polymath. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds important to me. And then a student of life, aiming to be the best version of herself, which is great. She's out of Greece. And again, another really good summary. And what I like about Gloria's summary that most people won't do is she's like, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, read this.
Wow.
She gives you kind of the instructions of how she's building her network. And again, she goes into what it really should be. I'm going to build my network, but I'm only going to build it specifically for what I want. And then we'll kind of go through that. So then I'm like, okay, gosh, what can I tell her? Well, Gloria wants to be obviously a professional speaker. She's had her speaking engagements on the very top of her experiences. And then there's a blank logo and it says NA. Well, if you're a professional speaker, other people that are hiring those expect a couple of things. They expect a site, they expect a logo, they expect a brand. And so Gloria, like, spend a little bit of time, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but put yourself on brand.
Nice.
And I think that would really make this profile pop, and also probably give her more business in speaking.
And she's got some great experience. She's been at
gosh.
Google and
Google,
Microsoft,
Mozilla. Like, I mean, you go down, everything else is great. Like, I literally was looking through this last night going, I don't know what I'm going to tell her. She does really good. And so love Gloria's, and again, really good. So we'll keep going on because we want to try to get as many as we can.
Yeah, we've got time maybe for one more.
One more, okay. And so Nicole Bridges is one that's here, right? Connecting talent to fantastic opportunities. Again, a good lighting on the picture. She actually has a work picture in here. She probably works for Fidelity, so it's a little bit logoed out. So like that. And again, a little bit. Hers is set more for, I'm a professional recruiter, and I'm trying to attract people into my network. Yeah. Again, if that's what that profile is built for, that works really well. I think she could, like, here personalize herself a little bit more for candidates in terms of connecting talent with fantastic opportunities. Like, Nicole, tell me about you.
Yeah.
Tell me something, right? And again, in a really small headline opportunity, 5 words, 6 words, something like that.
Love that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so we've got time, maybe one more really quickly, and then we'll wrap it up.
So we're going all the way to Saudi Arabia. And Mohammed, here, one of the things that kicks out right away is the big picture is pixelated. So every time when you look at it, if it looks blurry to you, it looks blurry to everybody else. And you don't think it matters, but it's about attention to detail.
Yeah.
And so instantly you go, oh, come on, they had to see that. Or if they did see it and they didn't change it or make it better, you start to question, well, why wouldn't they? And that's attention to detail, right? And so you see how recruiters start judging profiles with tiny little things. And so every little thing matters. So for me, Mohammed's headline's a little long, so he could like actually kind of rework this a little bit, and so we understand. I mean, I love the message that's there, but I don't know if I can fully understand that.
Creating a chance to develop national manpower by mixing their experience with international experience.
Yeah.
And I need to take a breath. So that's a clue that it's probably too long.
Yeah. So again, 5 words, maybe 4 words, 6 words at the most. CIPD 5 student. I'm sure that's really important to him. I don't know how much is important for everybody else trying to connect with him. Maybe it is, so that should be there.
All right. Tim, this is awesome. So excited because you're going to come back a little bit later
this
on
afternoon,
today. And we're going to do round 2 with some more profiles that we're going to go through. Some really great tips here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining us on the live stream. We're going to send it back to Talent Connect 2018. We'll see you this afternoon. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me back here live on this stream in the All Access studio. We are back for round 2 of Rock My Profile. And joining me live back here in studio is Tim Sackett, who is president of HR Technical Resources and the author of this amazing book, The Talent Fix. I see you gussied herself up a little bit.
Well, we got feedback, right? There's so many people watching, and they're coming back and they're like going, wow, you look completely hackish compared to how beautiful you look. And so they made me get dressed up. They're like, you're trying to rock profiles and you're wearing a t-shirt. So,
the bow tie works for you.
The bow tie's good.
Yeah, so thanks for coming back to join us for round 2.
Yeah.
Since our last session, we've gotten quite a bit of feedback on the live stream as well.
Yeah.
So one of our viewers, Tom Lockwood, asked us this question. I'm wondering if you can answer it for us. He wants to know, do you think a black and white photo stands out more than a color photo?
Okay, if it's really well done, it's professional. It definitely would. It also, the secondary image becomes important then. Because if you have a black and white photo and then you have something that completely takes away from that, then you're gonna lose that. So you have to really think about how do those two things match together. But again, I think a black and white photo does stand out. I mean, we see it so few times. You don't see it very often.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a really great point. I also want to give a shout out to a couple of our other folks that are out there on the live stream. Kelly McDonald is joining us from Brisbane, Australia. Hi, Kelly. Kelly also submitted a picture of her watching the live stream. So we see you. We love you.
We're going to talk about you.
We're going to talk about your profile here in a minute as well. And another shout out to one of our longtime viewers. Emmanuel Michael has been with us on the live stream since yesterday, all the way from Nigeria. I have no idea what time it is.
Yet?
Probably not, because it's such compelling content. He doesn't want to miss a moment. So, Emmanuel, we see you out there in Nigeria. We're going to talk about your profile as well. So, who are we going to kick it off with now?
Let's get right into it. Jack Craig, he's out of Boston. And so, again, we talked about this morning. We'll see it again. Crop photo, little blurry. And you can see his buddy's shoulder that's over there. So, again, one of those things that we want to try to do is go out, get a professional photo, take some time. And again, whether if that is your friend with the new iPhone with the portrait mode, or someone that has a really nice, LSR camera or something like that, get good lighting, have a window in front of you, or, find lighting that comes in naturally. Not necessarily put a bulb in front of your face because you get washed out. And so that photo, because your eye is just driven to it. And again, secondary photo is great. He's got this great Boston shot that comes across. So the one thing that I think Jack can really improve on is the headline. So remember, this morning we talked about the 3 things: picture, headline, summary. Those 3 things are going to draw your eye to that profile. And the thing is he's got great brands that he works for. He works for Kraft Sports, which is like New England Patriots. He worked for the Detroit Lions. He's worked for the San Jose Sharks. And so people I know he's a sports fanatic.
Yeah.
I know he loves pro sports. I know he loves all this stuff. And again, so this could be right here, right? When it comes to event management, sponsorship activation, game day operations, no, tell me what you love more. Are you a football guy, soccer guy, whatever it might be? Let's go down and do that. And then again, summary-wise, just a little bit more personality coming out. Otherwise, for the most part, pretty strong profile. Again, I think he's using this more as the resume for a profile versus the profile for a profile, which is who do you want to network, who do you want to show people who you are, all of those great things.
Yeah, I think the takeaway here is we want to hear what you're passionate about, and let's see that in your headline, right?
Yep.
So that's awesome. Jack, some great tips that you just got straight from the master here.
Yeah.
Tim, who else do we have? Can we take a look at Kelly, who is out there with her own viewing party?
So I got to see all of these last night and kind of went through them. Kelly has the best picture we've seen by far. Professional photo.
Nice.
It's an upshot. It's great lighting, just beautiful. Now, the secondary image, again, she's going through, like, hey, I work for Hudson, and so I want to put my brand out there from terms of where I work. It's a little pixelated, so again, maybe try to tighten that up just so it's super clear. So here's on the headline, and we talked about headlines this morning, and they're so important. She has recruiting recruiters, recruiting recruitment leaders, recruiting talent management, recruiting across APAC. That's 4 recruitings.
Yeah, she's passionate about recruiting.
And so what we showed this morning, I'll show it again. Crystal Miller is one of the best headlines I've seen. I recruit people. I shoot sports. I am Groot. In just the overall 9 words and telling us what she does, I think Kelly has a really great opportunity to take her headline and turn it into that passion of recruiting without saying recruiting 4 times.
Fair.
And so that, but then if you go down to her summary, she's one of those people too that added in really good stuff. There's actual video. There's some link in here to go to some other stuff about her company. And then the dirty secret that no one talks about.
Ooh, tell us.
No. For recruiting is she actually put her phone number right in there. And everyone thinks, oh my gosh, I would never put my phone number on my LinkedIn profile. I have my phone number. I have my cell phone number on my LinkedIn profile. Don't call me right now.
Call him.
No, but that's like, we don't get as many calls as you think.
Yeah.
You know, once in a while, but like if
you will now.
Yeah, I know. If you're really trying to find great talent and you're using your profile to be a recruiter, throw your phone on there and see what happens. You can always take it off, but try it, and you'll be shocked that you don't get as many calls as you think. So I love that she put all that out there. Super easy. So if you want to get a hold of Kelly and you happen to be in Australia, bam, there you go. You can get a hold of her.
Kelly, your phone is going to start ringing, just in case you were wondering. We got like almost 1 million hits last year on the live stream, so just so
I know. Well, Kelly, you and I are both in trouble right now with our phone numbers out there. Okay, let's go on to Catherine Pope. So I saw actually Catherine in the LinkedIn app. She was out, she's here, right?
Cool.
So she's actually here at LinkedIn. And again, a lot of opportunity when we get back to, we talked about the crop picture. She's probably with her girlfriends and she's like, oh, I'm just gonna get my own headshot in there because I look really good that day.
Yeah.
And she does. But we want a professional photo. And then the secondary image, we saw this morning as well, is just stock image from LinkedIn. Fill something in there, again, and what you're passionate about, what you're trying to do. Now, Kelly's a founder and a PR person, and we talked about this as well, as we tend to be PR person, recruiters, marketing people, we don't focus on ourselves. And we focus on everybody else, helping everybody else. And she has some work to do in terms of, she can really put on a great headline. And then also as a founder, publicist, writer, get your logo on there, get your website on there, and really interact with what your brand is and be on brand.
Yeah.
And again, she can do that, and she has the allowability to do that. What I love about her summary is that she actually gets into all those great things that she's doing in terms of having her degree out there and some of that good stuff.
And I want to double down on something that you mentioned before, because I hear you saying get a professional photo. But to be clear, we're not saying that people have to go out and spend money to get a professional photo. We just think that they should take a little extra time, get a friend to take your picture. Don't take a selfie.
Everyone has a friend that's a photographer, right? Or an amateur photographer.
For sure.
And that's all it needs. And like I said, my example was I get my family pictures taken every year. And I'll just ask the photographer, like, quick, couple of headshots. It takes 5 seconds. And then they just throw them in with the other pictures. So find a way to do that. And it really makes a big difference from that. So who do we have?
So let's jump to Emmanuel Michael, who's been watching us on the live stream.
So
longtime viewer, first time caller.
Yep. So Emmanuel, great professional photo right off the bat. You can see that it's great lighting, great backdrop. Has the ability to increase the second image and do something there. Like me, he's 100 most influential global HR leaders. I'm a top 10, but we won't talk. There's no competition.
Throwing shade on the live stream, Tim. Wow.
So no, but I love, again, like you obviously know in his headline, like he's trying to come out and saying, hey, here's what this is. He actually threw a hashtag in there, which again, like that, probably could tighten that up and figure out what can I go through and eliminate author, public speaker, mentor, judge, whatever that might be. There's a way to do 5 or 6 words that people would have that same impact. And then if you get down into, again, a little wordy on the on the summary, but really tight in terms of specialties and what he's doing. Now, there's something unique about Emmanuel's, and he has the Harvard Business School executive education thing. Now, this is something that recruiters talk about all the time. So now, and we'll talk about another one about this as well, is when you get down, he actually has Harvard Business Executive Education, the course that he went through, which is I'm sure is really difficult, but he also has actual legitimate real degrees. And so the question is always, do I put my degree up higher or do I put the big brand name up higher? And so for me, I'm always like, hey, it took you 4 or 5 years to get that real education.
Yeah.
That Harvard thing might have been a semester, might have been a weekend class, might have been whatever. I understand the name is really big, but think about all the effort, energy, and cost and effort you put into getting that full education. And again, it's above the fold, so you want to make sure that people's eyes are drawn there, because recruiters will look at that and go, oh, he doesn't really have the education, he just took this class. Whereas if you have the bachelor's or the master's, that becomes really popular.
Really, really great point.
Yeah.
Any last tips before we wrap up and send it back to Talent Connect Live?
You know, one of the things that, again, that we talked about, I think, is when it gets back to use your profile for a profile to network with the people you want, not a resume. And it's so hard to get us to pull us away from that resume. So don't do that. Use the profile to connect with who you want and define who it is, that audience you want to connect with, and then use that headline to go after those people.
Love it.
All right.
Great stuff. Tim Sackett, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Such a pleasure. Really great tips for rocking your profile from the professional here. And also check out the book,
Yeah.
The Talent Fix. Some great tips in there to really help you take your recruitment to the next level.
Thank
So we
you.
appreciate that. Tim, thanks so much.